Alrighty, I don't know if I can see the YouTube chat right now. I think it might pop up on the bottom here in this little icon. So I should probably be able to read the chat. But here I am sitting surrounded by some grass and weeds and monster weeds and Roundup weeds. Actually, the Roundup weeds are pretty much like out of season now, but I got some funny stories on that. But you can see I have a little computer monitor next to my telescope rig, my mount. The box in the back is where my laptop used to reside. Looks like the laptop board is fried. Hey, what up there, JLM? Looks like the laptop board is fried, but $80 I can get like an i7. I've been meaning to refurb that laptop if I continue to use it. But I had to swap my desktop rig. I wanted to use the 8-core AMD, but I pulled out this, I think it's a 6-core Phenom, because at one point, is it a 6-core or a dual-core? Might be a dual-core Phenom, but anyway, it should be fine. It's got USB 3.0. The weirdest thing was, installing Windows was a pain in my ass. Like, it kept telling me, oh, this hard drive controller is supported, enable it in your BIOS. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't usually get this message, but, you know, I'll check, you know, HCI mode, IDE mode, you know, the usual things. And then I think at one point I might have a defective SSD. Either it's a defective SSD or more likely I think it was locked to an Xbox. So that makes more sense that the SSD couldn't be written to because it was locked to an Xbox, you know, EEPROM, which makes sense. But this time I think we're getting along now. I just plopped in a, and dude, I was jockeying discs for hours. It was absolutely like pain in my ass, like, but ultimately I landed on this 4TB drive that seems to be cooperating right now. So we won't need the monitor out here once we have this you know, once we have this thing working right. You know, I just have to install remote access. Then I'm probably gonna take a bike ride because I need a freaking therapeutic bike ride. Maybe I'll even stream it, but not baked, not boiled, not scrambled. I know that's a reference to something I just said, but I should have read it right when it came up on screen so that I'd remember what I said, that was a joke in response to. Because I know that's a joke in response to something. I know it's a dad joke, and I'm okay with that. I don't shame dad jokes. I'm actually in favor of the concept. I did say fried. Oh, I did say fried. I did. Okay. Yeah, and you know what's funny? If I didn't try to turn on the laptop, there's a chance it might not have been fried because I saw that screen light up for like a second, like, before it went kaput, and that's because, you know, when you have moisture and impurities in the water, and it shorts out, that's it, you know. But there might have been a chance that if I simply took that laptop inside, disconnected the battery, and like cleaned it up, it might have had a chance. But once I did that final attempt to turn it on, you know, now it becomes a Louis Rossmann job. And I mean, look, it's possible to do a Louis Rossmann fix, but not trying to do a Rossmann fix, you know? Like, I'd rather just spend $80 on the board at that point, especially if it's an upgrade. And that computer was a very good find. I got it from the e-waste recycling heap at Best Buy, and had a 4GB GeForce, but I think the new i7 board would also have a 4GB GeForce, so I'm not missing out. If anything, I got to question if I should even be running a GeForce in the backyard like that. Maybe if it gives a superior remote desktop experience when using Parsec, like if it can use, you know, hardware encoding or something cool like that. And maybe what I should do is, like, well, I've been needing to overhaul the laptop, so if I rebuild that laptop from scratch, at that point, I'm going to overhaul it, although maybe not, because some of the software on that was, like, very specific and worked really well. Other software was kind of hit or miss. But, like, you know, like, I'm not a happy camper with the software I was testing out yesterday. Although, really, I would have probably gotten along with it if the camera driver worked. That was really the big issue, was the camera driver. And it would be funny if, like, I find out my USB upstream cable got fried. I mean, I'm not going to go insane over it. But, my haircut's 1 p.m. tomorrow, so I can't stay up late. But then again, it's better than last week, because they rescheduled my haircut. And last week it was 12 noon, so it's a little better for me. I suppose fried and releasing the magic smoke is fairly accurate. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, when it comes to microelectronics, you're right. So it's a little bit on the slow side here. I really wish I could have gotten off with the SSD, but it might be better to have a hard drive, you know, just to like keep it warm. I did put a little bit of ultra wide duct tape on one of the fan grills on the front because I had like, what happened was I got sick and tired of fastening shit down. So like when I went to test out the 4 terabyte drive, I just kind of dangled it in the case and it actually started fucking working. So I'm like, damn it, now I gotta put the thing in properly, but I didn't want to turn off the computer and start over again. So I kind of just like, you know, wiggled it into the bay that it would get into. And once it got into a bay, I was like, okay, well, this is not the bay I want to put it in, but it's the bay it's sitting in now. So I screwed it into place, and then I was like, there's 2 fans in front of this. They're actually pretty good fans. They're like little tiny, can't really see them actually, but this is a pretty, it's not the case I would have bought by choice, but it was given to me, and I gotta say, it's not bad. It's not a terrible case actually. It's pulled server duty for me for years. Yeah, so at this point, I'm just, and you know something, I better put my phone on silent. I was getting a text message from the union saying, hey, we're doing this new initiative for Wi-Fi for New York City, and we want to get professional people like you a subsidy for Wi-Fi or some weird shit. And I'm like, it sounds weird. It sounds like one of those like things where they try to like say, oh, your poor people need us to give you, I don't know, anyway. I have a couple of appointments starting at 10 a.m. I should sleep early also. Yeah, I mean, luckily, like, I don't have anything at 10, but getting up at 10 would probably be good, right? 10, 11, 12 to 1. Yeah, that's about around the time I should probably get up. Or 10, if I had to be somewhere at 12, getting up at 10 makes sense. So I can get up as late as 11. But even then, like, falling asleep at 6 a.m. is not, I don't even think I fell asleep at 6. I might have fallen asleep a little later. All right, let's get this show on the road here. So, you know, probably use the mouse, use the keyboard wherever I can. I wish I didn't plug the internet into this thing just now, because now it's going to try to get me to do fucking Cortana and all that dumb shit. Now, I don't have anything against it. Sometimes I don't mind using, like, the cloud storage and, you know, backing up my desktop icons, but I really don't need that, you know? So I think I'm going to yank this Ethernet cable out. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it lets me skip. If it lets me skip this stuff, I won't unplug my network, because I'd rather have the ability to do updates. Completely unrelated question. How do you keep the lawn short? I don't keep the lawn short at all. That's just ground that's been tapped on by walking. I mean, you go, yeah, look, I'm surrounded right now. Like, I had to actually cut down a couple of weeds around my chair just to make it more inhabitable. Still setting things up. Thank you. Thanks for your patience. And if I had a speaker hooked up, I'd probably have Cortana's ass saying something. Which, I mean, Cortana's a bad choice, because doesn't she get, like, hacked and turn into, like, you know, like, tries to kill Master Chief with some crazy shit? So, normally, though, what we would do is, like, as my father would do, is use a lawnmower, right? And my parents, what they did was they would, in the past, actually, they, at one point, especially with my mom, late in her life, like, it made sense. But even then, it just made sense in general, since my dad was working a lot at the time. You know, like, one day the neighbor's lawn guy knocks on the door and like, hey, we can do your lawn $40 a month, or whatever it was. And it's like, yeah, sure. And, you know, sure, the guy makes good money. He comes by once every month or two. Even in the winter, he'll do, like, a winter prep where he sprays some, like, lime on the lawn. I don't know if it's lime. It's some white powder, you know. And, I don't know, the front lawn looks nice on his lawn, you know, so, I mean, that's working right. Backyard, it's like, why pay the guy to do the backyard? We could do that, but, you know, like, it's probably, at this point, easier to wait for the winter and then cut everything down in the winter so it doesn't grow back. I pretty much eradicated the poison ivy, except for this one vine that kind of like came back at the end of the season. I just left it alone because I was like, it's not anywhere I go. All right, let's see what we can do here. Let's add your account. All right. I mean, maybe I will sign up with my Microsoft account, you know? Let's see, can I show my pretty face on camera? Okay, joking around, joking. All right, I'm gonna put the phone down for like a second. Here, we'll put it down like that so you can kind of see. And I'm going to type in. I'm actually going to sign into my Microsoft account. The real challenge is remembering my password. Okay, so let's see here. I might regret this, because I feel like this is something that is better off with an offline account. Like, I probably should have just done an offline account for this shit, you know? whatever, we're just gonna let it roll because I'm already doing it. And let's see here, what is my, I don't even know my password. I should know my password. Oh, this sucks. I can't even look up my password on my phone right now. I literally cannot look up my password on my phone because if I do that, oh boy. Like, I just don't think that's gonna work out very well, right? You know what? I think I got it, Jay. Oh, fudge. My screen just flicked out. Alright, that was weird. I think it did a driver update. I think it's literally doing a driver update. Yeah, it just, okay, it came back. Okay, I just remember what my password is. Okay, I gotta retype that again. Okay, J@50HN. Alright, no surprise that didn't work the first time. I'm gonna try that one more time. Let's see here. Maybe I can just download the Authenticator app and get in the easy way, you know? Can I even type on this? Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Hopefully this doesn't, like, oust my password. I don't think I really have any way to block it without, like, just, you know, what do you call it? Like, keeping this window in front, which actually could work. That could actually work. So that's how I'm going to secure this. I'm going to just put the window in front of the password field when it comes up. And, you know, I mean, look, my name is my name. Yeah, this is absolute madness what I'm doing here. Oh boy. Yeah, I might have to end this stream right here and then come back. I think I'm gonna do that. Feel free to, you know, not come back or come back, you know. Oh, do I have 3 people watching right now? I can't end this. I might just go inside and grab another computer. Or wait a second, I got a couple ideas. Alright, let's do this. Give me one. There's gotta be a way here. Is there a way to not share my screen? Probably not, right? That would just make sense. I should not be using this mic. You know, we're not using a stupid Microsoft account. Get the fuck out of here. Let's unplug the network. This is how you do it, guys. So, when you don't want to use the Microsoft account, you know, the online shit, you gotta, like, basically do it. Make sure you unplug it, Ethernet. There we go. See, look what just happened when I unplugged the internet. Now it's saying, who's using this PC? So, I just type in Ron. And then it asks for a password. I give it a password that's simple. And then it asks me to type in again. And I type it in again. Then it says security question, number 1 of 3. I don't care, but I guess I'll do. Okay, what's your pet's name? That's a dumb security question. I'm gonna give it my first pet. Actually, wait, do I want to do that? Yeah, we're gonna do that. Security question number 2. What is the name of city you were born? That's a dumb question. All right, I'm gonna answer. I'm not gonna tell you guys what the question I picked, but and then what is your city where your parents met? That's a stupid question too. Oldest cousin? I don't fucking know. All right. Oldest cousin, first school. See, these are all terrible questions. Okay, is preschool 1 word or 2 words? You know what? We're just gonna make it. We're gonna make it 1. We're just gonna have to let it be. I think I can crack this password if I really need to. Alright, now it's like, oh hey, do you want us to collect all of your information or just some of it? I'm actually kind of okay with them collecting some of my information, but not all of it, you know what I mean? But I think for good measure, we're just gonna tell it like, let's see here. No, I don't want them to send data about the websites I browse. Tailored experiences, what? From the start menu? Get the fuck out of here. Find my device. I don't think I need help finding my desktop. Inking and typing. Oh, so you can send all of the stuff I type? That sounds like a terrible idea. Advertising ID. Normally I wouldn't be opposed to it, but this time I'm going to be opposed to it. I'm actually going to keep the location thing on just because of the weather. Let Cortana help you. No, I don't want you, Cortana. So got Cortana's ass there. No. Just say no. Not now. Actually, never. All right, there we go. And you know what's funny? I'll see you later, JLM. Thanks for dropping, man. And you have a good night. But yeah, if anyone else is listening, let's talk about Cortana a little bit. So, or any of these Windows 10 features, you know? How you doing, Lady Mist? How do you like my backyard computer setup here? Look at that. My computer might even be about the same, same generation as your computer, actually. But, yeah, it's my backyard rig. How cool is that? Kind of absurd, actually. But anyway, yeah, so, when you set up Windows 10, if you ever do that on a computer, because they're trying to shove Windows 11 down everyone's throat, but Windows 11, they really can't not make Windows 10 available, because Windows 11, they're sort of trying to shove what they call a trusted platform module down everyone's throat. It's basically like a smart card in a chip, and it's like another security measure that's not really necessary. And what's even more insane is like it ties in. I think it ties into Secure Boot, and Secure Boot can be theoretically cool, but generally speaking, it's like another way to just say like "F you Linux users." You know what I mean? Like it's like one of those things. And so anyway, where's my brain? Why is it outside in the back again? ... It's a good question. That is a valid question. And questions without answers are statements. But jokes aside, it's because my backyard laptop, which resides in that plastic tub on that table, that folding table, took on some water. And I tried to turn it on while it was wet, and I didn't know. And then that was the last gasp of life that laptop motherboard gave me until I replaced it. And so I need another computer hooked up to my telescope, and I've been kind of dying to hook a laptop. I've been meaning to do this, like I've been meaning to hook a desktop up in the backyard. Oh yeah, so here's one of the things is that you get these Windows updates, and it puts the search bar next to the start menu, and it's like you gotta go here and hide it, and then it'll come back after like one of the major updates, and then later on when I'm logged in remotely, I'll go and I'll remove all of this garbage. For now, I'm going to just do updates and see if it gets all my drivers in, because I'm really not trying to go and trace down every device driver. So let's see, they try to shove Windows 11, and they're like, hey, would you like to scan your computer to see if it's Windows 11 compatible? I'm like, it's not. I'm sure it's not, and I'm okay with that. At some point, I'll have to, an error occurred. Well, that makes sense. You know why that error occurred? Remember I yanked the Ethernet cable? So that makes sense. So we'll plug that back in. And network should work instantly, because it looked like it worked before, because it was asking me to sign into the Microsoft account. Yep, good. Okay, that's good. So if you ever reinstall Windows on a computer like yours, you can replace. Yeah, definitely. If I know the model number, for example, or even if you know the model number, you could look it up on. Why did I just click on that button? I meant to click yes. Shit. Okay, well that's okay. It's not important right now, but yeah, you can what you can do is you search for the part number, or you literally just kind of just type in the model number, like keyboard for Dell. There we go, real quick. So these are the drivers. So this is gonna update my network, my monitor I don't need, and my AMD something another. So that'll get me a head start on some important things. But where was I? Yeah, so you just literally do keyboard and then model number of your computer or something like that. And a lot of times it'll just show a keyboard that looks like your keyboard. And generally, if it looks like your keyboard, then it is the right keyboard, And another way to be absolutely certain is to open the computer, or not even open the computer, just remove the keyboard. And there's sometimes a sticker under the keyboard that says part number. So I accidentally told Windows I have a public network. It's not the most important setting, but it's driving me insane because I want to kind of set it to private network because that's what I have. I might just Google this because I'd really like to have the right, option here. Let's see here. Hey, what's up, Lemon Pie? It's good to see you. Let's try, So I'm just gonna shove the chat aside for a second and type in a search. Okay, so what am I searching for? Accidentally picked public network. Yeah, I just want to change it. That's all I want to do, right? So it's got to be really straightforward. That shouldn't be like one of those vague, okay, run network adapter trouble. No! I freaking hate when people give like these bad answers. Like, no, you don't need to do that. You just need to tell the guy, okay, network and sharing settings, center and advanced settings. All right, so let's do that. Network and sharing center. Change advanced settings. I was here already, but I'll go here again. Private current profile. Okay, I want to change my network profile. I don't actually want to, like, I just want to change my network profile. Oh, here we are. Windows logo key settings, network, select Ethernet on the left side of the panel. All right, so let's do that. Oh, I see where it wants me to go. So we're gonna go to this graphical interface here, and then it's gonna say, okay, click on your network, blah blah blah, and then here we go. There we go. That's it. Done. Okay, good. I just wanted to do that because that can have implications later on when I'm trying to access a network drive. Right. So now, let's get that chat back on the screen. Hello, chatsters. Chatsters, that sounds kind of funny. But yeah, I saw a lemon pie here. Nah, laptop keyboards aren't always hard to do. Sometimes they could be, but generally, if you, like, especially Dell, you'll notice that, like, on the bottom of some laptops, they'll have a screw, like, where one of the screw holes are, it'll literally have a picture of a keyboard. And so usually, like, if you remove the screws next to the icon with the keyboard icon, graphic, or, it's like etched into the plastic, that'll usually be like, like, that'll do the trick usually. So I'm going to the MS, oh my god, Microsoft Edge is so lame. Nah, let's not say we did. Please, like, it's like, oh, you want to sign into your Google account? You want to do this? I'm like, nah, I don't want to do any of this shit. None of it. No, I don't really want to make this my preferred browsing experience, thank you. Alright, so let's go and type in support.msi.com, and I think I have a 870A GD80. I'm like pretty sure that's my motherboard name. Oh, and this happens sometimes. It'll like be like, yeah, we can't reach this site because we're dumb. So it's like, usually at that point, I just go and I download Chrome before I go insane, in case it's trying to shove something down my throat, like I don't even know what. It's just sometimes it wants to like insist upon certain settings, or maybe I typed in the website wrong. All right, so usually the keyboard will pop out, and like what's really cool is, especially like companies like Dell, they'll literally like release a maintenance or service manual, and it's not as complex as it sounds. In fact, when a company like HP used to do it, they might still do it sometimes, but like the service manual will literally tell you like where the screws are, which ones to take out. It'll show you like what they call an exploded diagram. So it's like you'll have pictures of like the kit and caboodle, and then if like you have any doubts, like someone like me looks at it and they're like, oh, okay, so you pretty much got what you need here, but just bear in mind that this clipping mechanism, because I know on Dell laptops they would have like a clipping mechanism sometimes or some weird shit. But yeah, so model number followed by your keyboard. I'm sorry. Search the word keyboard or whatever your computer's name, brand, and model number is, followed by the word keyboard. And if the picture matches, it's probably right. But sometimes you'll see that the little the wire on the bottom, if it's different on different pages, and it's for the same model, then you want to be like, you want to check, you want to take your keyboard out and make sure the wire lines up, or the cable it's called a flex cable, but I like to call it a ribbon cable, even though that's very old of me to call it a ribbon cable, because it looks like a ribbon. It's a flexible cable, but it looks like a ribbon, hence ribbon cable. So yeah, Lemon Pie, we're working on an outdoor computer, and my goal is, in fact, I really should even, so at this point, I should already be setting up remote access on it, but I was, what do you call it, kind of more concerned about device drivers, right? So I just downloaded Firefox. We're going to launch Firefox, and hopefully I can go to MSI's website and punch up, my motherboard, if it'll load. I don't even know what CPU, I'm afraid to check what CPU this computer has. I don't really care as long as it works, to be honest. I am going to let Firefox be my default browser, because at least I know it'll be fast. Although, you know what, one of the reasons why I'm not religiously into Firefox, because, I remember they were, bragging that they were supported by the Open Society Foundation, and I'm like, maybe it's myopic of me to have an issue with George Soros, but I have a proclivity against the guy. I could be wrong, he might not be a dick. It actually might not even be listing my board. I might have to actually go and look it up a different way. Let's try searching it. 870A GD80. Because it's a legacy product, it's an older product, but it should still check out. It's an older code, but it should check out. I hope I didn't type in the wrong, oh, I see, I did type in, no wait. I might have to actually, thank God there's a window on the side of this computer case. I might be able to read the label. I mean, realistically, I think I already memorized it. I should know what it is. Oh, I sat on my mouse. Alright, let's get this going here. Just gonna whip up the keyboard. Alright, let's see here. Maybe maybe I typed it wrong. Maybe it's so I'm going on Google because it looks like my motherboard is not even listed there. So I might be guessing the wrong number. I'm probably gonna have to flip the case over just to look at the label. Yeah, I'm gonna have to flip it over. I'm mixing up model numbers, but that's what's happening here. So basically, just flip this down and we're gonna look at the side until we see the numbers we're looking for. See, we can read almost everything there. It's down there, I see it. 870AG54. So it was 870A G54. What was that again? I already forgot the model number. I think it was 870A G54. We'll try that. We're gonna stretch 8. Okay. 870A-G54. If anybody remembers the model number, I said it, and if it's not the same as the one I'm reading out right now, let me know. But it looks like that's correct. What up there, VGC? I'm saying that backwards there. That is the V, G, C, and M dumping ground. And we got Dusty Lamborghini here. Hey, bud, how you doing, man? Good to see you. So right now we're just doing a little work on an outdoor computer because this is like basically my last minute backup to having, my laptop hooked up to a telescope. It's cold out, and that means good, seeing conditions, and I don't want to waste it. So we're downloading some of the basic device drivers, and it looks like they don't really offer that many drivers. Whoops, oh god, I picked the wrong OS. That's a problem. We need to pick. It doesn't have Windows 10 listed, so we're just gonna have to pick Windows 8. And it looks like all the drivers must be already installed. So at this point, the only thing I need to install a driver for is my GPU, and I don't remember for the life of me what GPU I put in here. It was kind of like I didn't put a lot of thought into it. I just said this GPU, the other GPU didn't work. In fact, I had a different computer outside last night, and the thing kind of just stopped working. It didn't get wet. Maybe the cold just disrupted it a little bit, Maybe the contraction caused like a minor short, cold air. And in fact, I don't even need to install the Ethernet driver, so all we need is a video driver. I don't know which one I need. Oh, there we go. It says it's installed. It also says ATI Mobility HD 4500 series, which is hilarious. Okay, let me just type that into Google. ATI Mobility 45. So why is that funny? Well, because mobility usually refers to a laptop graphics chipset. And we're sitting in front of a desktop right now, so it's like, why do I have a laptop GPU in a, expansion board? Well, that's weird. The latest beta driver is from 2013. We're gonna not install the beta driver and take our chances. We'll bookmark it in case we need to go back. Yeah, I've been sitting in this backyard since late afternoon, basically, since 3 o'clock. Been going back and forth grabbing parts, and there's no guarantee any of this shit's gonna work. Like, at some point I'm just gonna toss my hands up and be like, fuck it. But try to be patient here, because even if next week I'm not gonna be able to buy new parts and they're gonna take time to ship. So it's like, might as well do what I can now to have something prepared, and later on, if I'm adventurous, I'll come back out and grab a Mylar blanket and wrap the computer in Mylar. Just wrap the whole computer in Mylar, build a tent around the box. I wouldn't necessarily rely on it to be torrential downpour proof, but Longer term, I could probably build something that's torrential downpour proof. If anything, I would put the computer in a smaller tub and put the big tub on top of the side like a clamshell almost. But let's take a look at what CPU we're packing right now. Now it is running a little slower, but there are things running in the background. So this is a yeah. So I can actually physically upgrade this. I'm not gonna do it now, but I do have a 6-core CPU laying around. I'm not really particularly inclined to be, installing a 6-core CPU this very instant, right? Maybe what I would do is take the computer I have in my bedroom and work on that one separately, just like work on it indoors, and then swap this computer out with that one at a later time. But yeah, this is a 3.2 gigahertz. Frankly, it's so damn cold outside. I should be able to force this into a higher clock speed if I could figure out what setting would enable that to happen. Oh, there we go. I had to click on that. Now, I don't know if there's like a separate app I can install to get the control over the processor, because I would much rather override that processor and tell it run at 3.2 gigahertz as much as possible. Consume as much power as you want. Because right now it doesn't look like it's trying to turbo itself out, but I know there's enough cold air out here that should not be an issue. Like it should. There we go. I just saw it bump up to 3.2. Like I really don't even want to see it throttling down. All right, looks like it is willing to throttle up when it needs to. The downside is it looks like simple tasks are using up, more resources, but whatever. We'll slow down the polling rate so it doesn't get slowed down when running tasks. We're just gonna have to live with it. I think the RAM is good though. I think our RAM is good. I think we have like 12 or 16 gigs in here right now. Let's take a look. We got 10. I don't know. Oh, we got 12. We got 12. It says 10. I think it's borrowing 2 gigs for the graphics or some weird shit. But that's still 2 more gigs than the laptop I was using, so. It's advertising Tomb Raider. They always do this. They're advertising like the game that was in vogue probably back when this driver was created. I think these are old games. Oh yeah, and then I gotta download Parsec. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, not Parsec. We're gonna download Splashtop. We can always download Parsec later. So Splashtop is just the remote desktop application I use. And so I just gotta be careful because they're gonna probably try to get me to download the paid version or something, and I just want the free one. Alright, so let's see here. We don't need the AMD video encoder. I don't know if I really need this program here. We don't need that. There we go. Oh, the date and time is wrong. You need to activate Windows. No, I don't. I have no desire to activate Windows. And frankly, I'm afraid to activate Windows and be told that I can't. GPU it was, I would have probably potentially needed to do what you're describing. Like, you know, I avoid it, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Years ago, JLM, he's old school. He remembers this old website we used to use called driverguide.com. And they had an app called the Driver Guide Detective. And it was basically like a utility that would, you know, do what it says it does. It's a detective. It detects drivers, you know. Buffering. Oh, yeah. I'm not even daring connecting to Wi-Fi. I have pretty good Wi-Fi, but, like, sometimes it's seasonal. Like, I'll get to, like, literally right behind my telescope, and the Wi-Fi signal will, like, be hit or miss. So I'm on 5G right now, and if I'm in my bathroom, that's, like, the second. I have a black hole, a Wi-Fi, like, I call it a Wi-Fi black hole, and it's, like, it's literally in those two spots. It's, like, it's in the bathroom, and it's like right when I'm sitting on the toilet, even standing lately, and so that's not entirely abnormal. Right, gotta read my keyboard. I'm guessing my password here. I hope this shit works, because if it doesn't, I'm screwed. Oh good, the password actually worked. Oh, but this computer has a terrible name. It's like desktop. I gotta give it a new name. We're gonna call it backyard. We're gonna call it ACU DTACU. Alright, there we go. I'm just gonna erase that. Alright, there we go. Good. I got renamed the computer, and I gotta now go into settings and tell this. But yeah, so like my options are, you know, I could rerun the channel scan. Because basically, the way Wi-Fi works, is that you share all of the channels that your neighbors have. So there's like, last I checked, 11 primary channels, but some of them overlap. So there's only like a few of them that don't overlap. And you can have different Wi-Fi networks, different security codes. And this is telling me that my computer's gonna go to sleep automatically if I don't disable it. So basically, bottom line is that your neighbor's Wi-Fi, even if they have a separate security code, it can, you know, create interference for your Wi-Fi, and it's sort of more like being in a noisy room and having like background noise and people yelling and stuff like that. So we don't want it disabling USB devices. We don't want the computer going to sleep. We don't want it ever hibernating. We want maximum performance on our network adapters. We don't want it spinning down hard disk drives at all. In fact, I think if you set it to 0, there we go. It's gonna never turn off my hard drives. This thing says allow wake timers. That's actually relevant. So I remember this guy. He has a YouTube channel. Nice enough guy. His name is something Brisson. John Brisson, I think. And his YouTube channel is called We've Read the Documents. And the name sounds cool. It's like, okay, you get these documents, and they read the documents, and they say, oh, we know the truth because we read these documents. But he's sort of like more conspiracy theory oriented at times, and there's nothing wrong with that if you're, you know, over the target and you're right. But I remember one time he was saying that, like, oh yeah, Windows 10, you know, forces you to do the updates. The computer turns itself on automatically. And I'm like, that's not impossible, but it's kind of impossible, you know? And what it really came down to was, later on I ran into the same issue, where I would put my computer, I wouldn't shut it down, I would intentionally put it into hibernation. And it would wake up from hibernation, which is very weird, because it's practically off when you hibernate, you know? And like, as it turned out, it set a timer, to turn the computer back on so that it can force me to install updates, even if I, put the computer off. And now, even though shutting down the computer might be enough, sometimes, depending on your settings, it will hibernate. It'll say it's shutting off the computer, but it will hibernate, and it's sort of a feature. It helps with performance. Okay, so we should have remote access to this computer now. Yeah, we should have remote access, so we can verify that. Let's check how those updates are running so that we don't, disrupt them. Okay, check for updates. And in the meantime, I'm going to actually test out the remote access. So, it should have a new computer listed here. Unless I did it wrong, there should be a new computer listed here. That's weird. There we go. That's the new computer now. So it should probably prompt me for a password, which yeah, probably yeah, probably gonna have to like private this stream and edit the recording or something like that. Oh good, it's not working anyway. Oh my god. I should just disable the password thing. I mean, you know what? Yeah, disable the password because that's not helping me right now. I can always do it again later. We're just gonna say no additional password. Save the setting. Let's try that again. So it's giving me the option to restart Windows, but I'm gonna wait till I have remote access. Okay, so can we control this computer? Waiting for a connection. So right now we can see nothing on. Oh, there we go. We have remote access. So we could potentially unplug this monitor right now. The real nuisance about this is I would rather. Oh God! See, this is what I'm talking about. See these Windows updates? Look, it puts this Bing bar. I'm like, no, I don't want your stupid search bar. Turn that shit off right now. Get the fuck off my screen. Do not auto launch. Do not show me this warning and get off my screen. See how they like shove shit down our throat like that? So I'm kind of reluctant to restart the computer until I install the astronomy stuff, because you can't plug the cameras in until you can't plug the camera in until you until you have the drivers. So I have to download it. I have to go to their website, download the drivers. And these are not the type of drivers that you want to be auto-detecting, generally speaking. But as I understand it, there's a magical all-in-one package. We'll bookmark this website. So yeah, they got this new Unity platform, which I really don't want. But if they don't have the legacy driver for this, I guess I have to use it, heck is it? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have the option to do that right now, so we'll just roll with it. So we're downloading the what they call the ASCOM driver. Oh wait, whoops, I gotta be careful here. We don't want to install that until we do the other thing. So we want to maybe install ASCOM 6.6. And then these people don't support the driver creation anymore, so they basically say go to the other site and get this from this other guy who's now maintaining the software that you seek. Thank God I got my phone back from repair. When if I ride my bike tonight, I can plug in the what do you call it, the USB cable. That I have a USB charger on my bike. Yeah, so this is absolutely critical. Oh, I got it. That's why. Okay, that's okay. We're gonna do that again. Alright, so we need to do ASCOM platform first. That's ASCOM, not ASCOM. And while I'm doing that, we're gonna do something that you can't really do on Windows 11. Oh my God, I can't do it here either. You know what? I'm gonna click activate Windows. I'll bite, even though this is an absolute pain in my ass. Yeah, there's no product key on here because I don't have one, you cunts. Jesus. Okay, so see this taskbar here? I'm stuck with these stupid ass buttons because unless there's a registry hack, I'm stuck with those stupid buttons. Hey, what up, David Glenn? Long time no see. I mean, I seen you at Floral Show, which is what I'm at. Floral Show rocks. I like Floral and his show. Even though I did a bad job as Wilton last week, but I did a good job as Mrs. Flute, in my opinion. I mean, that wasn't me. That was Mrs. Flute. She lost her voice. I had fun being Mrs. Flute. I really did. I loved the whole, oh, hello. Like, I don't know. I just felt like I was in my element talking like Mrs. Doubtfire. So, I don't know if I'm supposed to click next, or if I'm supposed to press the any key, or if I'm supposed to wait for this. But I guess I'm going to wait for it. As you can see, David Glenn, yeah, I'll give you a nice larger view here. That's a desktop computer in the backyard. Here, wait, yeah, see, that's a desktop computer in a plastic tub. You can see the bundle of cables. They're not really bundled so much as they're cables. They're not bundled, but they are cables. And thank God I'm wearing a heated vest. So, I'm sharing my desktop, this way, just because then I put the phone down and you can see what I'm doing, and ultimately, this is how we're going to, control the telescope like we usually do. I'm a little upset that I didn't plop in a 6-core processor, but I'm happy that, things are better than they otherwise would be now. At this point, let's analyze the situation here. So it looks like something is using up resources, so maybe I just have to wait for that blue window. Windows module. Okay, so you know what? I think it's not letting me click next because it's actually installing .NET framework or something, update relating to .NET. So we're just gonna wait for that. Ooh, nippy, my fingers are cold. I'm like those people who got frostbite. No, okay, it's not that cold, luckily. It probably would be ill-advised to even have a computer outside like this if it was that cold. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this thing in space blankets, probably. Waterproofing it will be the more interesting magic trick if I even achieve that. And I mean, like, I was looking at, I'm gonna work on my 8-core CPU that's in the house, because that computer, that would be like a, the 8-core desktop in the house would be way better But yeah, long story short, billions and millions of units so far out indeed. No excitement is unwarranted. But if you're out, you have a good one, man. I'll catch you later, JLM. Is my sound working? But to answer the David Glenn, yeah, looking at MS Windows gives me PTSD. Yeah, I hear you. Okay, good, thank you. I just had to scroll down. Okay, but yeah, I understand, dude. I had PTSD from this afternoon already because what happened was I was trying to put hard drives into my old desktop. So the old desktop was in the backyard last night working fine, and I either rebooted it or shut it down. I think I shut it down in the afternoon after it did a complete backup. So it ran overnight in the backyard, did a complete backup. Then I come out, I turn it off, I go to turn it back on. I'm not getting any picture on the freaking monitor. In fact, I was getting picture on the monitor a little bit. Then it decided to really give up on me, and then it wouldn't even let me shut it off with the power button. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I can't even hold it down to shut it off. So at that point, I said, okay, I'll just grab another computer. And before I think, wait, was it? Before that, I think I was having trouble installing an OS because I had a SSD in a PCI slot. And I was like, maybe it's because the PCI adapter is not supported or some weird shit, you know. So then I do this computer here, and I'm getting the same freaking message. It's like, oh, you gotta go to your BIOS and enable something. I'm like, oh, I've never seen this message before, and I've worked on a lot of things. Long story short, I find a conventional 4 terabyte drive laying around. Thank God it was a working one because, I was swapping drives in and out, and I was encountering drives that were not usable for one reason or another, like they were locked for an Xbox, and I needed to unlock them, which I don't have time to do. But anyway, we're running a 4 terabyte. I could probably make my SSD work if I, unlock it. But anyway, right now, I may just have to let this run because I'm not gonna make you guys watch this. Well, I do enjoy your company, of course. Yeah, that's weird. I'm not seeing the. Yeah, so I hear the hard drive making noise, so it's doing stuff. It's doing Wait. So it said okay. It said press any key. I think I did that already. Message to appear. Yeah, I think I already pressed the any key. It would be funny if it was waiting for me to press the button this whole time, though. So, this is kind of just telling me that it's a heartbeat, that this program is doing stuff. And apparently it's reading and writing to the hard drive at 22 megabytes per second. Yeah, actually, I don't think I'm supposed to click next. I'm waiting for this still. All right. This is a really sketchy way to run an update. Let me tell you. It's a very sketchy way for the update. See, it's like if I didn't know to check Task Manager, I might think this thing crashed. This is like the type of shit that causes people to forcibly shut off their computer. You know how people do that, and then oh, we're doing an update, and then it broke. And some people will be honest. They'll be like, yeah, I turned it off. And then other people, they'll be like, I didn't do nothing. And it's like, you're full of shit, sir, ma'am. Like, I fixed the computer for a friend of my dad's once, and I was like, maybe I put a faulty hard drive in there, but apparently she's the type of person to hit the computer when it's slow, so it's like, you don't know. And maybe I should have just told him, pay me more, I'll put an SSD in. But I was like, well, if you take good care of your computer, you get a regular hard drive, and I'll do it for free. And my coworker's like, oh, they're taking advantage of you. I'm like, no, I chose to volunteer. But after that, I was like, I wasn't having it anymore. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna bend over backwards. You know, I'm not getting punished for a good deed, basically. So that was all good. My dad understood. He was cool. We're not deleting. We have access to 2 terabytes of the 4. That's plenty for what we're trying to do. I should probably not delete some of these files in case I need them later. Like same thing with the laptop, assuming the SSD didn't get cooked. Alright, so now it's saying, no, it's still going along. In fact, the Splashtop, the remote access, is now using more CPU. Maybe I should disconnect from the remote desktop for now. Just to give more, CPU juice to the CPU, if that makes sense. Okay, there we go. Now let's see here what my friends say. I love that. I love the end users that get out of memory error and then proceed to delete all the system files off the hard drive. Now, it's kind of an understandable thing, but it's kind of funny that I think people pick the wrong times to not get advice, and they pick the wrong times to. Not always, but sometimes I feel like I don't get asked for advice at the right time. It's like I'd rather answer certain stupid questions now as opposed to cleaning up and answering stupid questions in the aftermath. And it's a little bit like one beautiful thing about modern computing, whatever OS you're running, is that RAM memory prices are such that you can afford to have more RAM than you actually are using. Damn, this is a chilly application to install. Hope it finishes soon. Okay, that actually looks like progress. I don't think it said enabling features before. See, it says enabling features. I'm somewhat sure it didn't say that before. I don't remember. I'd have to rewind my own video to check that. I should just be doing Linux on this. I probably would have had an easier time from the get-go, especially that weird BIOS error. Wow, I don't know if you guys can hear that car stereo from the street, but it's one of those like setups where people put like a fucking subwoofer in the trunk that occupies like half the trunk. Those things are hilarious. It's like you're gonna vibrate the screws out of your computer doing that. Like I can hear like the license plate vibrating on the back of that car. But yeah, this is pretty boring, I'll admit. I'll confess to you guys that I acknowledge this is boring. So I might give this a couple more minutes and maybe come back later. Maybe, but I really don't want to walk away from this computer. Well, I don't have to. I can walk away from it now, but I don't want to leave the house until we get to a point where like I can plug in the camera, because that's like the moment of truth. It's like the most important part of this whole thing. And apparently, like, this thing was so out of date. Well, as expected, it's a fresh Windows install. And if it was a faster computer, this probably wouldn't be this painful right now. It's a shame that I couldn't use my 8-core. Maybe I'll play with that inside tomorrow afternoon if I'm in a good mood. I need to make that computer work anyway, because that is a important computer. My guess is that dust and moisture or something like that maybe colluded to like make it misbehave. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. This is pretty brutal right here. I mean, it could be worse. It is pretty responsive. Like, so, I have a laptop that is a mirror replica of my broken laptop, and I lent it / gave it to my dad a while ago, and I was like, I'm like, I wish I had that as a backup, but then I'm like realizing, no, last time I tried to set that laptop up for astronomy, that was pretty painful. Instead of being a 7th gen, it was a 6th generation, Intel i5, and I don't think it had an SSD slot. I think it had one of those like empty, not soldered SSD pads on the motherboard. At least they're not having to feed a zillion 3.5 floppies. Yeah, see that I wouldn't be surprised if that worked out poorly. You know what I mean? It's bad enough that I'm running this outside. I don't want to know what happens when you try to put like a floppy in a computer while breathing on it. You know, like I can see my breath right now. You know, condensation or moisture, water vapor in the air. So I imagine a floppy drive would not appreciate that particularly much. But hey, maybe this will be a good thing that it's taking this long to install. Maybe this will result in good things. Oh, something just did something. It looked kind of like different. The computer made like a ticking sound, and I don't know, something changed on the screen. I thought it looked like, but maybe not. It's probably just my imagination. But yeah, I remember Windows 95 from a floppy disk. And then I got innovative. I was like, you could just install Windows 95, copy all of the floppy disks, cabinet files, cabs, copy them to a zip disk, and then you boot up with a DOS boot disk that allows you to load the zip driver. They call it the guest driver, and that lets you mount a zip disk, like temporarily, more or less. But like, it's fine because like you only need it mounted long enough to install Windows, and then when you boot into Windows, you can just permanently install the driver. So actually, like if I ever had to do OS2 installs, if I wanted to do that experiment. Oh, there we go. Look, we got a little progress bar, 5.9%. Enabling features, 5.9%. So that's good. That's something new. That means that we've been waiting all this time, and it's not in vain. I mean, it might be in vain for you guys, but at least I know that. I hate when something's running for like 20 minutes, an hour, and you find out that it was frozen and you should have just turned it off the whole time or canceled it. But yeah, so I always want to try OS2, but not badly enough to actually try it. But if I ever went that route, based on what you're telling me, it sounds to me that I should implement the method I used for Windows 95 and 98 on certain computers. Like if I didn't have a CD-ROM drive, or even if I just wanted to be adventurous, that's how I would do it. I would put it on like a zip disk and run it that way. But then you got like a CD is just the same as well if you have a CD drive. The only computer I'd probably want to put OS2 on would probably be my IBM PS2 Model 77. That's a 486 based version of the IBM PS2. I think it actually had a 75 megahertz 486 if I remember correctly. Maybe it was a 66, probably a 66 because 75 just seems like an oddball number, like it doesn't even match up. But anyway, that machine had the micro channel architecture, and I mean that's like a whole entire architecture, but at the time all I knew was that I couldn't put my sound card in there. And I was like, that was like what basically stopped me from caring about that computer. It's like, I can't put my sound card in here. I'd have to go on eBay and buy a sound card that's compatible with this particular thing. I'd imagine, yeah, it was probably worth hating Micro Channel. I don't know jack about it, but yeah, it was probably worthy of hate. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, Dave. Because, oh god, there's a skunk or a cat behind me. I don't know if I should sit still, or lean back, or say hi. But it's like walking like right in front of me to my left. Like it's like over here somewhere. I hear like snap, crack, snap, crack. And, generally animals don't want to approach us, right? IBM's proprietary plug and play concept. Yeah, that's another thing. Plug and play isn't what I thought it was in the beginning. Like I thought it was plug and play. Like, oh, no driver, plug the shit in and go. But it's really more like install the driver, then plug the thing in. They should call it like install driver, plug and play. Guys, that would be the truth of the matter most of the time, I think. Or sometimes you can install the driver after, but I remember there's even situations where they tell you to like install the driver before putting the PCI card in. But generally with graphics cards, I think it's well understood these days that you can install the driver after you put the graphics card in. But like even with this astronomy camera, USB devices like my astronomy camera, they're telling me install the driver first. And that's because, of course, you don't want to plug the camera in and have Windows try to automatically put a driver in and forgot, or it might actually do it. And then now when you install the astronomy software, it's like, oh, Windows already has a driver for this device. And it's like, no, 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 I want you to use this one. And, it's a little more, effort there. But yeah, I mean, like, whew, this is significantly slower. I'm getting a little nippy. Probably gonna wrap up soon and then go in and warm up or something like that. Maybe come back to play Pod Racer, because I am gonna be playing Pod Racer tonight, because dude made pretty good progress in Pod Racer. Oh, press the any key. Prerequisites: .NET installation, but your PC must be rebooted to take effect. Well, that works out because my Windows updates wanted me to reboot my PC. So, yeah, you got yourself a deal. .NET framework installation. Let's make sure everything is at rest. I don't want to restart my computer unless I'm damn sure. Okay, it looks like everything's basically at rest, so let's do this. Update and restart. Oh boy, this is gonna take a hot minute, isn't it? But yeah, I made the costume for my turtle, but I didn't put it on yet because I didn't want to be a dick. I'm sure this will be fine. The part where I gotta cross my fingers is the part where I'm about to plug the camera in, but we're not quite near there yet. I guess we could cross my fingers. Yeah, there we go. Cross my fingers just to make sure this doesn't take like an eternity. That would be a worthy cause. My phone isn't that warm, but it's a slight warm. It's like a little hand warmer. Did I get a phone call? Yes, I got a phone call from Scam Likely. That's a weird name. Hello, Mr. Likely. What's your first name? Scam. Hey, Scam. It rhymes with Sam. But it's Scam. Okay, if you say so, bud. Okay, that's awful. Getting Windows ready. Don't turn off your computer. Can I turn off someone else's computer? What if this is not my computer? They say don't turn off your computer, but if this is not my computer, can I turn it off? And then if it breaks, I'll call Microsoft and be like, you said don't turn off my computer, so I turned off someone else's computer, and now it's busted. It's your fault, Microsoft. There might be people, no offense to people who have genuine objections, but when doing warranty claims processing, it was kind of fun sometimes having people like give like warranty logic. They'd like interpret the terms depending on their circumstance. So if they wanted like a new computer, they'd interpret it like, oh well, it's the no lemon law. 3 repairs and it's out. And it's like, yeah, but there wasn't 3 repairs. You bought it in 3 times, but it was serviced 2 of those times, or whatever it was, And it reminded me of this concept of the sea lawyer, which isn't really quite the same, but like, I was watching, reading a book and watching a movie about the doomed Franklin expedition in 1845, and like a sea lawyer is basically that crewman on your Royal Navy ship if you're the captain, who like I guess is always trying to like assert rules or be a pain in the ass basically, like, oh well, the rules say this, oh the people took a vote, oh we have unanimous agreement among the crew about this thing, and it's like, okay buddy, did you manufacture that unanimous agreement? And just otherwise making the captain's job a little harder. I imagine they still have sea lawyers, but I imagine also that modern Navy doesn't take that bullshit. Then again, with all the wokeism, they might. Yeah, I think I'm going to get some hot... Do I have hot cocoa? I don't think I have hot cocoa. Wish I had hot cocoa. Hot cocoa would be nice. At some point, I'm gonna have to remove this monitor, or maybe I won't remove the monitor. You know what? I might be able to just like cram the monitor into this box with everything. So if I ever have to like service it, I can just kind of like finagle it. Okay, so there's like a little gap in that box. I think that I have this duct tape that I can use. I have a spare screwdriver in there in case I need one. Probably bring the screwdriver inside. %. We call those kinds of people maggots in the Air Force. Maggots. Drop and give me 20 maggot. That sounds like something Joe Sergeant would call someone too. But yeah, a friend of mine suggested, like, he goes, oh, have you considered getting a USB to Ethernet thing? And it's like, no, not really, but I mean, I appreciate him thinking inside the box, you know, like suggesting an idea, but I'm not crazy about keeping a computer, you know, inside and hooked up to like these long Ethernet runs to USB. There's always some caveat about those types of peripherals, and I'm like, that just seems like another link. If anything, I might use a repeater like that for the connection between the mount and the tower. But if I could like waterproof the tripod and then just put the tower under the tripod, that would be kind of cool. Oh, I better plug in the cooling unit on the camera because that'll actually heat up the camera. Oh, okay, well, nothing broke, that's good. These cables are getting a little bit more rigid now that it's getting cold out. That could be a bit of a challenge for me. Okay, 30% is gonna take a while. They're gonna like get ready to go in. Oh my god, I almost sat on the keyboard. I do not want to sit on the keyboard and mess up everything I've accomplished so far. I'm gonna finish my beverage and then go inside. That's funny, I misspelled the word beverage yesterday, and Floral from Under a Rock, he's like, a beverage? What is a beverage? One thing I like about hard drives is that you can hear them working, you know, they're doing stuff. But on the other hand, if an SSD is like fast, which I don't think an SSD would be any faster on this particular machine, so having an SSD would almost be like, I'd be sitting there going, is it working? Yup. Oh, okay, 30%. So that might be like when they give you that 30% for the whole process. So yesterday when I brought my laptop inside, there was a big mother effing spider on it, and it looked half dead, but it started like wiggling a little bit. So I think what happened was the spider got cold, and I was gonna throw the spider in a random place. I was gonna kill it, but I decided to bring the spider back outside and put it in the box where my laptop was, because I figured if it's a mama spider that laid eggs, it might want to like tend to the eggs. I know like some spiders, they feed their kids, they feed themselves to their kids. So I wanted to make sure that that spider had a chance to feed the kids, you know? Because I know it's like really important to spiders to do that shit. Well, I mean, at this point, I might as well see how far this goes. Nippy chilly chilly. It looks like it's trying to do a widescreen resolution, which I actually don't mind if it does. Okay, now it's doing a square. That's the one reason I would unplug the monitor, because if I can unplug the monitor and get it to spit out a widescreen resolution, that would be like ideal. I'm not even sure if this program would work without a monitor. I think it will. Yeah, I think the Splashtop works without a monitor. The problem is that you don't always get your pick of screen resolutions in those situations. It'll be like, it'll just spit out a bunch of non-widescreen resolutions, and it'll be like, these are your choices. Tough shit if you don't like them. Right, 85%. Not running any more Windows updates, not intentionally. After this, I'm just gonna like continue what we were doing, right? Install that ASCOM driver. That's like really the key. I have to install the ASCOM driver, then I can install the camera driver. And then after that, I could probably leave it unattended. This is your turtle. This is your turtle on drugs. %91%. Maybe I won't take a bike ride. I think I'll skip the bike ride. I'll do that tomorrow night. Visit my friend's house maybe. Depends on what my mood is and the weather. A little cold air doesn't really stop me from biking. I wonder if the guy on eBay responded to my message. Okay, it looks like he's not gonna let me pay. He's not gonna let me pay $50, 41 British pounds for his pocket PC. It looks like I'm gonna have to pay $90 for that shit, or maybe he'll let me do like a little bit more. Let's see. I'll give him another price, but he's not letting me get half off on that. That sucks. Because, I mean, that's an old pocket PC. I mean, that's not a new one at all. But I don't think anybody else is selling it. He knows he's got me by the balls, this guy. He knows it. Like, I don't think anybody else wants that fucking thing, but he knows he's got me. I probably should not have told him that I was nostalgic. Definitely should not have done that. You know, from a haggling point of view, almost certainly should not have told the guy that I actually wanted the device. I should have said, I want this for a gimmick. For a movie prop or something dumb. I should have made up a story. But I do want that pocket PC. It's not a pocket PC, it's actually a palm-sized PC. There's a difference. So you had HPCs, handheld PCs, you had palm-sized PCs, and eventually you had pocket PCs. Handheld PCs included a lot of those palm tops. Palm-sized PCs, I believe, was like pretty much everything that looked like a Palm Pilot that ran Windows CE was a palm-sized PC, and then Pocket PC was like when they came out that newer operating system on some of the HP Jornadas and HP iPack or Compact iPack, which became an HP product. That's a nice train. That looks like a model train, but I think it's real. Alright, let me just type in my password. Alright, good, it accepted my password. Now, good thing this is an HDMI monitor because DisplayPort gets a little wonky. Like, DisplayPort, if you unplug a DisplayPort, oh my god, the update installed the freaking Thanksgiving start menu search feature. Get the fuck off my screen. Like, I deliberately disable that garbage, and they still insist about shoving it in my face. Alright, I think we're gonna make this a hard stop at 10% battery, because at that point, I'm gonna wanna, conserve power with my phone, get it plugged into a wall charger, and if I ride my bike, I'll wanna plug it into, something else. And no, we do not want Logitech options. Alright. I'm probably forcing the computer to do too much at once, but I want to move along, come on. So this time it won't need to do that other part. Alright, good. Let's read here. And then after this is installed, we would either install this or this. And I think this is the more vital item. Realistically, I think the Pegasus thing I can install later, but oh, in the meantime, I also have to download StropCap. Now, technically, I think they include StropCap with the program and the driver I'm going to install, but in the event it gives me any lip, I just want to have the other one ready to go. In fact, I don't know why they have like 3 versions of here, but they got 4.0, 4.1. Like, I find that super annoying. But we'll download StropCap 4.1 for now. And right after this, we can install the camera. Yep. Oh, I just remembered something else I need to install. I have to download this too. That's for my serial USB adapter, essentially. It's called the EQ Direct, but it's basically just it's how I connect them out to my computer. Probably shouldn't run 2 installers at once. Okay, now we can do the camera. Oh, we still have to do the other thing, I just remembered. But we can do that while we're doing this. Oh boy, why did I do that? We actually should install StropCap 3.2. And then I can always install StropCap 4.0 later. don't even know which one I installed just now. So we're basically installing both the 32-bit and 64-bit versions of the same app. I just figure it gives me a little flexibility if I run into any weirdness later. Uh-oh. I hear an animal behind me. Oh god. It's coming closer to me. It's like there's an animal right near me. It's like pretty close to me right now. It could be a skunk. Could be a cat. Could be a possum. Oh boy. I hope it doesn't hear the quavering in my voice. Hey, what up, Pop Culture Mechanic? Just setting up a backyard computer right here. While an animal walks over to my left and scares the shit out of me. I really hope this animal doesn't have any interest in me at all. Might have to. I think I'm gonna just kind of like hope it, walks around me. Oh good, okay, there we go. So that's kind of important. Let's say, yeah, let's install that driver. So we got the remote access installed. We got most of the things installed. We are missing one or two things, but we're gonna address that right now. One of the things we're missing is kind of like something that I'm not crazy about. In fact, I'm gonna install that one. Let me see. How do I do this? Yeah, I gotta do. I gotta type in. So we gotta like either download one of these. Actually, I think that's what I'm looking for. Yesterday, I found the wrong one by accident. Installing this will hopefully prevent me from having to use that Green Sky Astronomy app. Alright, so I think we can plug everything in now. Let's do it. Oh, 10%. We're gonna have to end this soon. Just for the battery itself. Alright, so we're gonna plug the mount in. I'm gonna plug that into a USB 2.0 port because that's USB 2.0, or not even. It's not even really USB 2.0, but. And then we need to get the big fat USB cable for the camera. But before we plug the camera in, I might want to unplug the hub. But screw it, we're gonna be adventurous today. We're gonna just plug the we're gonna plug it straight in. Oh god. Let's try this again. Okay, first we're gonna unplug everything from the hub. Then we're going to pray that the upstream cable doesn't give me any lip. So this is the upstream cable. right here, this thing here. And if this gives me any lip, I'm giving up for now. Like, I'm just not gonna fuck around. It's part of my French, but I'm getting not to wit's end, but I will get to wit's end if I keep fighting with this. Alright, we plugged the upstream cable in, and it looks like Windows isn't giving me any lip. We can check Device Manager. Yeah, it is dangerously low. You could say I like living on the dangerous side. Yeah, it's not even like it wouldn't be an issue for me to just have a power bank plugged in right now. But, you know. Okay, good. So far, no errors in Device Manager. Now we're gonna plug the upstream hub in. Okay, now we have the hub plugged into a hub. So far, we're doing good. Now, we got an entire USB hub here. This is the main camera. We're gonna start with the main camera. Okay. No error message. Oh, good. No yellow flags. Okay, we're doing good here. Now we're gonna plug in the other camera. No error messages yet. Good. We're doing good. So, anyway. Whoops. I'm tripping over a wire of some kind. Oh boy. These direct burial cables get really stiff in the winter, don't they? Oh boy. I should have buried that cable since it is a... Oh, God. That's fucking funny. Alright. Now, I can't plug the motorized focuser in until I install this one. So we're going to do that one right now. And in the meantime, we're going to open up ShopCap real quick. See if the camera comes up, because that would be the most exciting thing for me. Waiting for this application to load. Okay, so we got 3% more before it gets dangerously low. Alright, remind me later. Not right now. Don't show me tips. Okay, good, we got both cameras, we're good. Alright, good. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna go and I think we're good here. So I'm gonna wrap this up right now. But thanks guys for hanging with me, and perhaps we will come back later to actually take some pictures of the sky. Perhaps sooner than later. So I'll be in touch. And once again, thanks for tuning in. For anybody watching on the replay, if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. Please like and subscribe. And for now, we shall end transmission. Ooh. Okay, I'm pulling a leg.